Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lunch and Learn, presented by CodaBears. My name is Bill Golis. I'll be hosting today's presentation. Today's presentation will be conducted by Chris Robinson, the Director of Parttrap, and Ove Tenberg, the CEO of Parttrap. Parttrap is a all-in-one business-to-business and business-to-consumer e-commerce platform that CodaBears has partnered with. We have found Parttrap to be one of the best in the industry for e-commerce that integrates directly with Epicor. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to the team from Parttrap, Chris and Ove.
Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you might reside. This is Chris Robinson. I'm the Director of Parttrap for the North American marketplace. Thank you, Bill, for that warm introduction. I've worked with CodaBears now for going on 4 years during my time prior with Century Business Solutions and eBiz Charge, and now managing North America for the Parttrap organization. And just thrilled to work with the CodaBears team. I know their dedication to customer satisfaction and providing value. So I can't see the screen yet, so our goal today is really to share with you the value of having a fully integrated commerce platform with your Epicor backend ERP. And that's really going to be our focus. Okay.
There we go. We can see your screen now, Chris.
Okay, good. Today's session is really focused on increasing your sales of your products and spare parts, and at the same time, productivity, hopefully providing more hours in the day for you folks on the call with Parttrap and our Epicor integration. So, as Bill mentioned, we've been partners now for quite some time here. Started much earlier this year, but I've known of CodaBears for quite some time. We have a partnership agreement in place, and our goal is to add value to the CodaBear client list. So we already covered the first bullet. We're going to tell you a little bit about Parttrap, do a quick survey, and then jump right into the Epicor integration and Q&A. Parttrap as an organization has been around for well over 25 years. We're a global company. Our products are used by companies throughout Europe, Australia, and of course, North America and the Middle East. We focus more on manufacturing companies, and we're a full service B2B, B2C, and B2B2X, meaning, and that will be one of the questions coming up in the survey. How many of you today are selling your products offer your products through a channel of dealers and or distributors? We have clients all over North America and again, throughout these other areas of the world. Out of the box, we include the content management solution, which is really the tools to build a robust front-end website. Yet we also have tools if you already have a website that you're comfortable with, but it doesn't have the integration with Epicor at the back end. And a lot of the features you'll see here, we'll show you how you could quickly connect Parttrap to that website. Out of the box, as mentioned, we have Epicor integration, which is our focus today, and a full PIM, product information management. Think of PIM as the data warehouse for all of the images, product, technical specs, videos, 3D drawings, anything that you have that helps describe your product or replacement parts to a customer. That's where the PIM is really located. For all the sales channels you sell through, if you sell omni-channel being defined as I sell through my own website, I sell through an industry website or a marketplace, I sell through Amazon or Lowe's, whatever it may be, all different channels. Okay, and again, B2B, B2C, e-commerce. So just by a quick, if you could raise your hand, how many of you today have a integrated with Epicor e-commerce solution? I think I'm assuming that very few of you do. That's why you're on the call today. But just a quick show of hands. We'll open the calls up later on to find out. How many of you sell spare parts or replacement parts? So that's one of your goals, to really drive new revenue from those spare parts. And perhaps, how many of you have a dealer channel or are looking to open up a dealer or distributor channel, and you want tools to manage them? Same thing with globally. Do you sell your products, say, in Quebec, where the folks there, and by law, it's got to be just defined in French, or maybe the Latin American marketplace you want to address, okay, whether it's Portuguese or Spanish. And perhaps you're interested in upselling clients with a warranty, either on the spare part or on the initial product that you sold. So at that point, then, I will turn this over to Uwe to really dive into the Epicor integration.
Yes, thank you, Chris. So if we go back a slide or two. So we're going to talk about integration today. And of course, you have all integrated a lot of different systems and applications to your Epicor system already. But if you want to boost your sales and provide updated real-time information, business information to your customers, an integration to Epicor is really key for a website. Okay, so if you take a look at a typical setup for an e-commerce platform, and I take an Azure hosting as an example. Let's say that you have Epicor on-prem. That's in the lower right corner, the customer local area network. That's where you have your Epicor system. And on the left side, you have the Microsoft Azure, the cloud. And how would you sort of push your Epicor data up to the cloud and make it available for a typical user in a website? The way we do it is that we use SQL Server replication from your Epicor database, push that up to the Azure cloud, make that data available together with the data that you maintain in Parttrap itself. So if Parttrap 1 is your web platform, you can actually combine the data from Epicor with the data that you maintain in our platform and create the full content for your customers and users. So this is actually standard technology to use SQL Server replication. And as I mentioned, it's possible to do if you're on-prem. It's also possible to do even in the cloud. But in the cloud, you also have the possibility to use the API, the REST API from Epicor. So reading data from Epicor is quite straightforward. We actually read it on field level rather than entity level. And that means that we can access every individual table and field in Epicor and use that for sort of creating the data, the content for the website. If you use the API, which resides on the Epicor application server, you actually require the application server to be running. Let's say you want to have a 24/7 solution out there and you take Epicor down for maintenance, the application server down for maintenance, then you will have problems to run the website. But the way we connect to Epicor, we will actually replicate the data out, so we have a replica of selected Epicor tables out in Azure, and we have also moved the business logic outside of Epicor. So we have actually everything we need in Azure. And that means that even if you take your Epicor system down, we can still run the website. And the same thing the other way around. If somebody places an order on the web, we can actually take that order and push that into Epicor using the Epicor REST API. And if you have taken Epicor down for maintenance again, then we actually queue those orders in our Azure platform so that we can wait until Epicor is up and running again, then we push the data and the orders or quotes into Epicor. Yeah, so this is the typical situation where you may set up a number of e-commerce sites, maybe different brands or different markets. You may have different URLs for the different sites. So let's say that you have a Canadian site, you have a US site, you may have a Mexican site, and you may have 3 companies in your Epicor system. Then if somebody logs into the US site, they will automatically be connected to the US company, and the data that we read from Epicor will be based on the customers in the US site, the US company, the warehouse and the stock availability. Pricing, of course, will be based on the Epicor company that they are connected to. If you happen to have multiple ERP systems in your setup, you may acquire a company that has another ERP system, Dynamics, for example, then we can actually combine different ERP systems in the same setup of Parttrap. So you can combine Epicor data with Dynamics data and still run the site. So that's a very convenient setup. Okay, let's move one forward. If you look on the right side here, we have something called Parttrap REST API. And if you think about it, if you have a lot of product data, some of it coming from Epicor and most of it actually coming from Parttrap, where you maintain the product data in the PIM system, the product information management system, and combine that with customer info, customer terms, other business data, prices, availability, current orders, and all that, and you have that available in a repository in Parttrap, then it's a very nice thing to be able to access all that data through a REST API, which means that you can actually use all that data combined in any application, any additional headless site, for example, or any application that can make use of that data. And in most cases, that combination of business data and product data is useful in many different situations. So that also gives you a way to relay the data to other sites. So you read data from Epicor, you store it and enrich it in Parttrap, and then you can access all that combined data in any other application. So now I had planned to demonstrate live how we actually set up the integration and how we map the data from Epicor into the web application. Unfortunately, I'm not available to share my screen, but I can describe how that is done. If you think of the situation that we read data directly from the Epicor database on field level, it means that we have access to fresh real-time Epicor data. We combine that data with additional information that you use to enrich the product information, for example, in Parttrap, and that combination can be used throughout the websites that you set up. And if you have standard Epicor data, that's out of the box. If you create your own UD tables or UD fields, they can actually be connected by yourselves. You have all the tools you need to set up a link from Epicor, user-defined fields, make them available in the PIM system where you can enrich the data, and then make it available on the site and present to your customers. And I think it's a really good thing that the data that you integrate can be presented on the site, but it can also be distributed throughout your organization or throughout your sales channels. So by owning the product data, which has been enriched with maybe images, documents, videos, and extended product information, you can use that to feed other systems. So we have been talking about reading data from Epicor. If we talk about writing data to Epicor, then we always use, of course, the REST API from Epicor. It's all the business logic is included in the REST API, and we can also feed orders, quotes, new customers, maybe service contracts, and we can even feed configured items and the input values for configured items from the website into the Epicor configurator. So the integration goes two ways. We read whatever you need from Epicor. We can write whatever the API allows us to do. And we can also use the API to trigger events or methods inside Epicor. And that gives us a tool actually to provide additional features that are web-based and totally integrated to Epicor. We use the data from Epicor. We give your users, your customers, a user interface to manage that data and actually push data into Epicor following the rules that you have set up. So look at an integrated web platform as a way to extend the functionality of Epicor and actually provide real-time business data and features out to your customers. And that will be appreciated by your customers. If you think about a typical reseller or end user, they are probably calling your customer service a couple of times per week. If you can offer that same information online, they will appreciate that, and you will actually take away a lot of the pressure on your customer support. So I think we can stop there for the presentation and open up for some questions.
Oh, there we have a question already from Chris. He's asking about the REST API. Do you use version 1 or version 2, or do you support both, or how does that work?
Yeah, version 2, we support version 2, but we are actually reading the data from Epicor using, we're calling the full tables. So if you use the APIs to read entity data, then you also get the business logic out from Epicor. For example, price logic, availability logic. What we do is that we read raw data out from Epicor. We read all the price tables, all the discount tables, and we move the logic out to the web. And that means that we are not dependent on the application server in Epicor. And that means that we can always guarantee 24/7 availability. So there are some really good things about reading field data from Epicor. We can access everything. We are not dependent on the performance of the APIs. We actually get the data, a replica of the Epicor data out in the cloud, and can use that if you take Epicor down. So yes, that was the answer, I think.
That makes perfect sense, having the logic in the cloud for full-time availability. Chris, did that answer your question? Is there any other questions out there? Please type them in.
Can we talk through our questions, or do you want us to chat?
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so we are currently using FoxyCart for our checkout, and we're kind of having some trouble with the visibility between products and tracking. So as soon as a customer places an order, it goes into FoxyCart, and I'm not sure if it's a field mapping issue or an Epicor communication thing, but can you speak to like the most optimal cart and checkout experience and how we can have more continuity and the visibility so that a customer knows when to expect their products?
Yes, if you look at Parttrap 1, we have real-time access to all the customer data, all customer terms, of course, product availability. So when a customer checks out in Parttrap 1, already when you list the products on the page, you get price, your net price, you get the availability in your warehouse, or you can actually consolidate multiple warehouses and get that information. So when you put it in the cart and you check out, you have access to all your terms, all your delivery addresses in Epicor, or you can add new delivery address. You will be able to see the availability and delivery time, of course, and you can choose whether to accept the partial delivery if necessary, or wait until you can have a full delivery. And you can also schedule the delivery at a later day than when you could get the full delivery, so to speak. And then,
so would that replace something like FoxyCart, and it would just be a seamless experience going through to checking out and using Parttrap 1?
It will absolutely be seamless, because we have our own order number series, for example. So what the customer gets at the end is a confirmation with delivery time, the actual order number that will go into Epicor. So it's not replaced with another order number later on. It's actually the real order number. So I would say that it's seamless, both when it comes to the data, the information you get about timing, availability, and you can also get full access to sales tax, to freight calculation, and of course payments through, for example, e-discharge.
Thank you, that's helpful.
The whole idea is that the user will see this as a totally seamless process, and even though Epicor may be down for some reason, the order will actually go in, it will get its own order number, and you get all that information you need as a customer. And then at the later stage, when Epicor is up and running again, the queued orders go in with exactly that order number that we present on the order confirmation. So it's absolutely seamless.
So if somebody had a kit, let's just say they ordered a kit of a bunch of different products, you're saying you could choose to delay the delivery until all products were available to ship at one time for that kit, or you could accept delivery of particular items that are in stock and then wait for the other items that are not in stock to ship later?
Yes, it's a decision made by the user. So they typically get three different options. Either if it's not available, if not everything is available, you can choose to have a partial delivery. If everything is available, then of course you can choose to get everything right now, or you can get it at a later date.
Thank you.
Any other questions out there?
I'd like to just clarify on the API and the SQL replication. The replication is used for the reading piece of Epicor, and the API is used for the writing, or is the replication used for both?
No, replication is used for reading data, and API is used for writing data to Epicor.
Thank you.
I also have a question about dealer portals. I imagine you come up against this a lot, and could you share a few use cases about your clients or customers who utilize dealer portals and how that integrates?
Yes, our dealer portal is a way to sort of, let's say you're a manufacturer and you would like to support your sales channels with a good solution. Then you can set up a dealer portal, which means that you can actually maintain all the data in the site and then brand that site for your dealers. So you can have, let's say, 2 different dealers, and you can brand the sites, give them different URLs, and it will appear to be the dealers' sites. So this means that the dealers can actually let their end customers go into that site, order products, looking at the end customer prices, because those could be uploaded by the dealer, and then place the order. The order will be accepted, but if it exceeds a certain limit, then the dealer will get a notification that they need to go in and approve that order before it goes into the manufacturer site. Because, of course, the dealer takes the credit risks if that order goes directly into Epicor. So it's like an approval flow where the end user can use the site, they can place the order, they get all the confirmations, and they can enter their own delivery address. They see their own prices, but it's actually an order placed by the reseller or dealer to the manufacturer. So this is a very good way to support your dealer network with a very good site, and they don't need to maintain any data or product information because you as a manufacturer would maintain all that data. For example,
the product catalog would be.
Can everyone see my screen? Can everyone see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Good. So just adding on to that, and thank you for that question. The theme of today's session was to show you tools that you can take raw data from your Epicor, for example, the bill of materials, that is imported, as Uwe mentioned earlier, within Parttrap. And now you can also take engineering drawings, be it a drawing like this or a 3D drawing that I could show you the same product in a 3D drawing. But with Parttrap Studio, we're adding hotspots onto it, some animation onto it. So it might look like this, and you could drill right down to see the actual inventory availability, the stock ID code, the inventory estimated delivery date and price for that dealer. The list price is 600, the dealer's price is this much. And if what Uwe's saying there is, let's say I have a $2,000 credit limit, whatever that number happens to be, and I order 10 of these items, well, an alert's going to happen there, okay? And you're going to add additional technical information, be it PDFs, technical documentation, videos of how to install it, whatever accessories that might go with if you order this. Think of the Amazon experience. Gee, you looked at this pair of tennis shoes, you might be interested in tennis racket, balls, hats, whatever. Okay. All of that available. And then even taking an engineering 3D, an engineering CAD, and then adding hotspots to it, all designed to help you quickly either order this product, okay, get to the right product. And again, we're just honoring everything that's, we're pulling this inventory and pricing information directly from within Epicor. So it's a great example of the integration. These product IDs, SKUs, costs, inventory, etc., is all defined. The customers are, what the dealer discount is, all defined within Epicor. And then we're helping enrich that product to make sure that every one of your customers has access to the latest product information, pricing, inventory availability. Does that help explain?
Yes, thank you so much for that.
Good. And if you did go ahead and place an order for this item, right into the shopping cart, okay, when you go to checkout, if the customer pays by credit card or terms, whatever, we're going to honor that. And then that data is going to automatically update right back into Epicor real time.
Okay, and then do you have any kind of native integrations or APIs for things like Salesforce or HubSpot, if that's what the company is using for their CRM?
Yes, we have a lot of integrations to payment solutions, to freight calculations, to sales tax, to text translation services. HubSpot is that type of marketing automation tools normally embed forms into the websites and make them gated. So yeah, we can do that.
Cool. And then passing the information, like I think Chris, I think it was you who just said, if you're passing that customer information from the checkout experience back into Epicor, and then Epicor can also send an API into something like HubSpot to make sure they're basically cross-checking the customer database, and whether that's categorized as like a dealer or an end user, direct-to-consumer type of customer, you can share that information between each system.
Well, I think that's probably more of a CodaBears question from that end. All right, that latter part, we certainly, our job is to get the information from Epicor into Parttrap, and be it Avalara or some other eBiz charge for payments, whatever, and then bring that information back to Epicor, and then CodaBears, I think, could guide you from that point forward. It sounds doable what you're talking about, but I'll defer to CodaBears.
Yeah, Kathy, I don't write a lot of code myself, but our team can do that. Absolutely. As long as the information or the database is exposed, we'll be able to read it, check it, verify your logic.
Okay, thank you.
Certainly. Is there any other questions? We're a few minutes over time, but certainly, if there's further questions, reach out to Bill G at CodaBears or to sales at CodaBears. We'll be happy to answer any further questions, or to put you in touch with Parttrap directly for a presentation or a demo, for a deeper dive. But if there's anything quick here, I can still hang for a few minutes. All right, Chris, you want to close it up?
Yeah, just in closing, we absolutely would be happy to set up a time with you, 15, 30, an hour, whatever your time is available, to review your current situation, challenges, needs, and then no-cost suggestions for, possible ways to move forward. And just reach out to CodaBears or send me an email directly, chris.robinson@parttrap.com. Bill, thank you so much for scheduling this. Thank you all for taking some time out of your day to let us share with you the Parttrap and CodaBears value proposition. Have yourself a safe and wonderful Thanksgiving, and we sure hope to hear back from you soon.
Thanks to all. Have a great day. Thank you.